What's going on, everyone? Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the Chilihead community, by the Chilihead community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, up here tonight, we have an amazing episode on deck. We have one product for Hot or Not. We have a great guest joining us all the way from Australia, and a very fun game planned. So episode 114 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here rocking and rolling, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for being here and making the show what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot, because this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Now, up tonight, we have an amazing show planned. We have one product from Wicked Provisions on deck for Hot or Not. We're going to be diving on into that one, as well as we will be talking with Mark Supple of Burn the Mo, straight out of Australia. And we are going to be talking about everything that goes into being a chili head, a product maker, and just really burning at an older age, what it means and how you can best make sure you are prepared to continue to that burn. So, very fun game planned, as well as always. If you would have answered the keep 5, cut 5 any different than Mark, let me know in the comments down below. And continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads and individuals that are curious about the world of hot, because everything that y'all do really helps to continue grow the channel. So thank you so much. But let's jump on over to Hot or Not. Hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. Well, we have one amazing product here. This is from Wicked Provisions. This is Blueberry Seduction, newest to the lineup. We're going to be diving into that. But if this is your first time checking out the podcast, checking out Hot or Not, I do things a little bit different. I don't do a 1 out of 10 scale. I do a 1 out of 5. I base that off of 5 different categories. Those categories are heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. Add those up, average them out, and that gives us our total swear word rating. Now, I do not like to read the ingredients ahead of time. I like to let my taste buds do that exploration. So whatever I pick up is what I pick up, and then when I read the ingredient list, it either comes together or it's an aha moment, and we all experience it together. But let's go ahead and jump on into this one. One amazing sauce on deck. This is from Wicked Provisions. This is the newest addition to the lineup. This is Blueberry Seduction. A very dark blue hue to the sauce. Visual presentation. Love the overall labeling and the overall cellophane branding on the bottle. Does have the perforation on the cellophane, so easy going on that. Let me give it a good twist. Go ahead and give this one a good pour here. Aroma wise, amazing. You're picking up the blueberry. You're picking up a fresh, earthy note. This sauce already smells like it would go phenomenal on desserts, but I guarantee you this is not going to be pigeonholed in just only desserts. So cheers. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. So this sauce, while it's not a thin, runny sauce, it has a nice hold, but the level at which the ingredients are pureed throughout this, it is beautiful in providing that very minimal difference in texture to no texture. You're picking up a nice, strong blueberry note. You're picking up some of the undertones of what tastes like beet. You're picking up some of the, bright freshness from the peppers that are involved in here. It's not quite jalapeno taste, so it's something similar to that. So we will be diving into that once I look at the overall labeling for the ingredients. The vinegar is not just your traditional vinegar. This has another layer of depth to it. I can see this thing going great on desserts, of course. I mean, pies, cobblers, cookies, ice cream, you name it, cheesecakes. I can see this as well pairing phenomenal with some pulled pork tacos, great on some burgers, great on some sandwiches. I mean, absolute, well-rounded. I could even see this going great in a mixed drink. That is magical. That is an absolute piece of art there from Wicked Provisions. Ingredients are blueberries, water, balsamic syrup, blueberry infused apple cider vinegar. That's adding to that depth. Absolutely loving that. Then we have pears, roasted beets, and then serrano peppers, pure maple syrup, pomegranate juice, cinnamon, sugar, lime juice, and salt. Heat coming in at a 2, aroma coming in at a 4.65, flavor of a 4.7, versatility of a 4.5, a burn of a 2.5 for a total swear word rating of 3.67. There we go. And the highest rating, flavor and aroma and versatility that I believe that I have given to date. So head on over there, grab yourself a bottle, but let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Going great, Brian. Yourself?
Doing great. I'm glad to be able to have this happen and have it all line up. I know the time zone difference is a bit of a thing to work against, and in this case, we found a time that worked out. So glad that this all, came together.
Yeah. I'm happy. Like I would have been happy doing it at 3 in the morning. It wouldn't have worried me. Just and honestly, it's anything to get on and to just advertise my brand. And it's great that someone recommended me, and I think that was it.
Yep. Sip has spoken some very strong words about how amazing you are as a person and your support and ability to help him foster in his own growth. And so glad to have you here, learn more about Burn Mo, and, really get to understand Mark as, a person, as a creator, as a competitor. And, one thing I always like to start off with is what got you into the world of hot? What was that, first moment? And then what was the moment that you said, hey, I'm going to start making my own spicy products?
Um, I've what decided? I've always been eating hot stuff, so I've never just decided it was. I've had loved curry when I was kids, when I was a kid, and I just started getting hotter and hotter, and eventually it was all to do with Johnny Scoville. I was just watching him all the time on YouTube, and one day he came up with a League of Fire, and he was doing a challenge. And then I thought, oh, well, I'll Google that, and then it started from there. But I didn't actually join the League of Fire until started doing anything until 23, and I think it was I just forget the date in 23, but I ended up in that. Yeah, it was because they used to run from September till September. So it was the 31st of August was the finish. Start on the 1st of September to the 31st of August. So I started it was the 2nd of September, 23, and I done the first year. And I think I got 8th or whatever in the world or whatever. And then this year, 24, started again. And this is where I'm at the moment. So I'm not really doing a lot of multiples or anything like that. It's and way back in 2019, it was just before the big COVID outbreak. I was making sauces, but only like small jars, and I've still got 2 jars in the fridge that I've never opened, and they're still as good as gold as the day I made them. They're curry ones, and and that's what I've been doing. And I've actually, there's a barber shop down the road is actually selling my sauce. And most of it's been word of mouth. And I've only got 4 sauces that are similar in taste, but the heat varies on the 3. And then I've got the last one, which is Primatali, which is really hot. And this one actually stays around. It will burn and burn and burn, and it just does. It just lingers. And I call it the Primatali pleasure. And
Very nice.
it's not very pleasurable after a while, I can tell you just quietly.
There we
I
go.
actually got cramps making it.
Well, hey, then you're doing something right then. That's for sure. If you're seeking out to punish those chili heads that are seeking heat, you have the golden product right there. That's awesome to hear. And yeah, something that resonated, stood out to me, because I had this similar process. Like I had seen League of Fire starting up originally, and I was already eating, spicy foods, doing my thing, and I had done a few challenges here and there, but I never once thought to log or to be, submitting or showing or, any
Yeah.
kind of involvement or engagement with the group at the time, because by the time I was really kind of jumping out of the recording of spicy challenges and stuff like that was around about the midway of 2020, and I was just like, I was focused on other things. I didn't really focus too much on doing the challenges. Plus, trying to go get and do challenges was a little bit weird at that point too. So, yeah, I didn't even log my first League of Fire submission for a challenge until I think it was like you're saying. Mine was also probably around 2023, 2024.
Great. Mm.
So yeah, pretty interesting. The overall thing, the mindset when you first hear it as an outsider coming in, you think, oh, the bravado, you think the just very braggadocious nature to it all. But it's not just that. There's sure you can get hung up on that side, but it's really more for tracking the challenges, sharing the challenges with others, being able to hold yourself accountable, understand where you've been and where you're planning to go. Like there's many different avenues at which you can kind of scale and cut into this whole thing. So, no, very cool. And to be able to hear that, you've been able to really have some good success as far as getting your products out there, through the local barbershops, et cetera, word of mouth. Love the overall labeling, and I enjoy the idea that you have a very similar style but different heat variants, because then it allows for people to kind of find where they're comfortable and fall within that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like uh, the 3 mangoes that I've got. There's the mango chili, then there's the Reaper mango, the mango Reaper, sorry, and then we just got the Triple X Reaper. So you've got the mango that's just normal low heat, 3, 4, and then you got the mango Reaper, which is in the middle, sort of like 6, 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the Triple X Reaper, which is around about the 10. So um, Alan Spicelander Graham, he's done reviews on the 3 of those mangoes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a very high tolerance. And the Reaper one, he was just saying, like he never got over a 3 on the heat, and so that's pretty low. But I can tell you that his three's around about a 6 or 7 or even more for the normal person. But yeah, I don't care. He's very good with his reviews, and he's very honest, and he says it as it is for his heat level. And he hasn't tried the Primatali yet, so I'm waiting on him to actually drink that, and then I'll have a laugh.
Yep. Yep. The Primo Tally definitely hits, in my opinion, stronger, harder, lasts longer than say eating a Reaper. Um, I just I also enjoy I don't know, I enjoy the flavor on both of them, but I think the Primo Tali has a much better flavor than most are able to kind of appreciate. And I think the biggest testament to that was just being able to eat through them, find the notes, find the flavors, as to where a lot do end up getting like blocked out, if you will, from their taste buds, being able to pick up what's going on because of the intense amount of heat they also provide. So,
Where I actually did a review at work on the red Primatali, and it was in the meal room, and it was my lunch break, and I actually done the Red Reaper, the Primatali, and I was actually using my mango sauce for tipping on top, and it was pretty brutal, the red one. And then I thought, right, I had a heap of chocolate ones, and I thought, oh, I'll do that the next day. So I was actually on the train the next day. I'm a train driver. I was actually on the train the next day unloading the train. So I pulled out the chocolate Reaper, which that sauce is actually made of, the chocolate Reaper, Primatali, sorry. And I said, right, I'll give it a go. So I cut it in half, checked it up to the camera, and I ate it. And I just hit the timer to see how long the actual burn would before it come down. And it was about 9 minutes. 9 minutes. I ate the whole thing, and it was just. I actually said then it made a Reaper. Like I compared, eat a Reaper, eat the chocolate Primatali, and the Reaper was like a habanero compared to the chocolate Primatali. It was just brutal, and it was just instant. And I had eyes were just running, and I'm still trying to do my job and everything else. And this was all on camera live, Facebook. I did, and then I thought later, oh, I shouldn't have done that while I was live on Facebook, and I was actually doing work. So yeah, but it was a brutal, and I've done a lot of pod reviews, and all the yellow ones, like the Yellow Reaper. There's Yellow Reaper Cross. There's a Dallelli Cross with a Reaper. There's heaps of yellows and the Scorpions even. I can eat them, and I absolutely love them. And they don't have the floral taste. They actually really taste fruity, and they're nice.
Yep.
And I've done heaps of reviews, and actually my reviews have been used from the people that actually make like do the chilies, because I'm just I don't grow them anymore. I just buy them off their suburban chilies, and they use my review to sell to customers. And yeah, I just love the yellows. They do not have the heat. Well, they still have the heat, but it's not as severe, and they don't have that horrible floral taste that you just screw your. They just actually have a flavour, and
Yep.
that's something that Superhots don't really have. They
Yep.
just have the heat and not the flavour. But the yellows, if they can make a yellow Primatali, I'll just fall in love with it, because yeah, for some reason the yellows don't have that really bad floral taste.
Yep. The so someone that has the yellow Primotali is Tom Broom with his Killer Yellow. That's what that is. It's a yellow
Oh,
Primotali, and I to my knowledge, that's what I believe that I remember him sharing with me on that. But it is absolutely amazing. He had sent me, and they were huge too. Like the pods he grew were pretty massive. He sent me, I think it was a box of 9, and I ended up eating all of those in recording. And oh my gosh, the whole way through, the flavor was just amazing. I think it was only out of the 9, only one had some less than ideal, or like 8, we'll put it this way, 8 were very comparable in flavor, in heat, in the overall delivery, very uniform, and only one outlier that was just slightly different. But that just slight
Yeah,
difference in flavor was just enough to make it be like almost a moment to shake the head and be like, that one didn't quite taste as good as the others. But it wasn't
yeah,
that it was bad. It was just you were so accustomed to the other eight. So
yeah. So just that nice flavour, and then all of a sudden you get hit with something that's, and you go, oh, well, that was a bit brutal.
yeah.
But that's to do with the growing conditions too. But I've found that when I was growing plants, if you actually starved them of water, like if you could have a habanero, right,
Hmm.
and habaneros, right, heat wise, it's a 5 or 6. That's the way I look at it. I love them. They're nice, sweet. If you starve that plant and you just let it start wilting, and then you feed it, and then you give it heaps of nutrients, and it just comes good, and then you do the same again, and you just keep on doing it, and you do it for about 5 times, and then you start picking that fruit, especially when they're starting to only young fruit at the time, and then you pick that, and then you have a bite of that habanero, and you're looking at coming up to scorpion or hotter.
Hmm.
Honestly, it actually increases the heat. And then a person that is long dead now, who was started the chili down at the Central Coast here, Mr. Chili Man or whatever he was called back then, Daryl Gardner. He just grew these and made sauces, and that's how I was really starting to hone my taste buds. And he showed me how you could grow a chili that had bugger all heat on it, and then just make it into a just about a super hot chili just by doing that. And it was interesting. I learned a lot of things off of him, and I've still got a lot of seed, which would still be viable because I keep it all uh, in the freezer and stuff. So yeah, but I just don't grow it anymore. It's just not worth it for me. And Suburban Chili Farms in Sydney can supply me with all the chilies I need in the growing season. And what's left, I've got in the freezer. And if I need to make another batch up, I just grab it all out of the freezer.
Very nice. Yeah, that I mean that sounds like a great you know, ability to kind of have a partnership going on to be able to not have to worry about that. Plus, as you're continuing to work through and create your own sauces, but then also have your normal day-to-day work that you're doing to add another layer of growing on top of that. Yeah, I can see where you seem to be very committed to what you're doing, and if you couldn't allocate that actual full focus, it just wouldn't end up being something that you would want. So I can definitely see that. Now, the part that stood out, because I also used to do a lot of work burns, and I enjoyed the idea of burning while at work or before work or right before I get out. Like there's different ways of having fun with this. The burns before going into work were always fun because of the gamble of, okay, how bad is this going to hurt me for the rest of the day? Um, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and to hear that you're doing that, uh, you're very confined. It's not like you're able to just. You said you work on train, right? So like you're not able to
Yes.
just deboard the train as it's going. You have to deal with the situation in the moment. So no matter how hard that hits you, you just have to buckle up, and that has to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I know it was fun for me. What are some of the most intense burns that you've had while working?
Not really intense. It's like that chocolate primatali was the worst, and like that went, like I said, 8 9 minutes before it was actually starting to come down. But um, really, nothing really serious. Um, it's happened when I've done something here and I've gone out and I've been out in the supermarket or something like that. Next minute, I'm just over in the corner and I'm starting to cramp up, and I'm going, oh no, oh no, no, no. And then I've got to get out, and then I'm in the car, and I've got the seat laid back. I've got aircon going on me, and I'm just lying, and I've got the shirt off, and I'm just sweating profusely, and I'm going, what did I do that for? And then after about an hour and a half, you get up, and you're still sweating, and I've got to go and finish what I started to do. You just don't expect it. It just comes on, and you think you've prepped right, and then you haven't, and it's a big shock. And when you're out in public, people just don't understand when you all of a sudden you're good as gold. Next minute you're huddled over in the corner in a fetal position, going, "I've got to get out of here." Are you all right? Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'll just leave me alone. So yeah, it's yeah,
Yep.
it's not fun.
Oh no, no, not at all. The countless amount of times that I've been driving back from the office and trying to
Mm.
get home or trying to go to pick up my kids to then get home and to feel perfectly fine pretty much like 80% of the drive. And the last 20%, it's like that gut punch just hits while you're sitting there behind the steering wheel. And it's like, I can't pull over. I just got to keep driving through this. It gets intense. It doesn't matter how high you have the air conditioning blasting in your face. You're going to be sweating whenever those cramps hit. And it's just a matter of managing to keep it together, to say the least. So, yeah, pretty wild and brutal things. I often find that the times that I do have the chance to just ride the cramp wave out, it's oftentimes, as you're saying, I like to more or less try to keep to myself, because the people that come over and they're like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you doing this?" And it's like,
Yeah,
just stop talking, please, just go. You know,
yeah.
uh, it's always more of a detriment to have them check in than it is a help, like they think they're doing. So
Yeah. And driving's the worst thing that can happen, and it's happened to me once. Driving, no, twice. It was a chili contest at Central Coast at the entrance. I entered that, and I ended up pulling out because they sprayed uh, like a tincture in my eye,
mm,
and it was just the intense burn. I had to pull out,
hmm
and it was about an hour after. I think I was the fourth, would have been fourth, yeah, fourth when I pulled out. So I still had another, I think it was another 5 rounds, but yeah, I was good as gold, and then I just felt the cramp come in, and I thought, well, I should beat this home because I'm only an hour away from where I was the contest. I started driving, and that was the worst thing I did because it got that intense. I had to pull over. I ended up finding a garage and pulled out the back, and then I had people thinking that I was up to no good. And when they've looked in, because I've got all the windows open, and I'm just stripped down, and I'm just personally going, "Well, call the ambulance." I'm going, "No, it's all right. It'll go away," and it does after about an hour. You're right.
yep.
Then you keep going, and then bang, it hits again. You've got to pull over. So that's happened twice so far, and it's pretty scary because uh, there's only once before that I panicked, and that was doing the Killer Queen.
hmm
I had cramps for 7 hours straight, and it would really worried me to the point that I nearly called the ambulance, but it didn't happen. I went through it. But yeah, that time driving back from that, I actually did start to panic, and I thought, like I'm going to have an accident. So it is. It's just things, and then you just go, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, and but you go and do it
Yep.
again, which goes to say something about us people that eat chilies, really, doesn't it? Are we silly, or is it just something that's addictive?
It's a level of commitment, determination, sure, a little bit of chaos and craziness probably sprinkled in
Yeah.
there. And then, just overall the joy and the love that it brings, because that endorphin dump at the end is really the main thing that I feel like the majority of true chili heads that are always pushing themselves are seeking. It's that next ride of just adrenaline dumping. It's the same reason why people want to, do extreme sports or jump out of planes
Yeah,
or what have you. It's that overall same thing with runners. You always hear for the runners high, and it's like they're just you're just working towards that moment where your body says, "This is great. This is bliss," and so yeah, pretty wild.
yeah.
Fun times for sure. Absolutely fun times. Something that you had mentioned earlier with the tincture brings me wanting to ask. So do you utilize tincture often? And if so, is there like is there one in particular that you use, or do you just make your own? How do you go about that?
I don't make any tinctures. I got Broken Charlie Whitmore from England. He sent his over, and I actually tried that, and that was nasty. Um, and Johnny Scoville, he sent me his, and that's pretty brutal. But I'm not. When I was trying to build up my tolerance really big, I'd use them, but I'm not really worried about it anymore because I'm not doing any competitions or anything like that. It's like the League of Fire. I'm only doing singles, and I might do six or something. And like I sort of like I plod along. You've got heaps of people, Tom and a lot of others are Fiery Red. All them, they're all doing multiples and like doing records. And me, I'm just plodding along. For the main reason is a lot of the stuff now is starting to get extract. I Years ago I did mine extract. Now
Mm-hmm.
I just dislike it immensely. I'll still do challenges with extract in it, but I won't go mad on them. It's the taste. I just do not like it, and my body reacts to it now. And that's funny. As I'm getting older, like I'm 68. I'm not a young person, and I'm 69 in October. So my body, as I'm getting older, even though I've still got a high tolerance, is telling me, Mark, don't keep doing this with all these extracts because my body's just not reacting very nicely to it anymore. So it's something that I tell people as you get older, like you don't lose your tolerance, but what your body's actually telling you is, of course, you are getting older, is no, I just can't do this the way I used to when I was younger. Like, I even looking back 4 or 5 years, I could do 20 times what I'm doing now without a problem. I'd get the cramps, and the cramps really don't bother me as much. I know what to expect, but you're still in the back of your mind going, you got the panic just there. It's just hanging around, but you don't suddenly hit there. It's like Uncle Bull Cow. I watched him when he done that scorpion or whatever it was, and we actually watched him go into panic mode while he was doing the live, and
Mm-hmm.
he just shut everything down. And he was really bad for a few days.
Yeah.
And I actually watched that live, and that was brutal. And just to see someone that was so used to something that's extremely hot, all of a sudden, because he just poured sauce on it and whatever, and just put it in there, and he didn't do any prep, and then it was in a matter of 10 minutes, he was just in panic mode and saved me, sort of thing, and it was pretty brutal, and that's sort of like what my body's telling me now. It's not panic mode, but it's saying, listen, just don't do as many. Just take your time. So uh, I don't know if any older that's doing challenges. Stu Walker, he's I think he's older than me. Stu in England. He used to do challenges, but he had that heart attack and all that stuff. So he's obviously got to look after his health. yeah, I don't know anyone else that's around the paddock that's my age that is actually doing anything. So, but I'm in awe of all the young like Red and Ethan
Yep.
in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. His tolerance is unbelievable. Tom, his tolerance is unbelievable. Red tolerance, unbelievable. Like they can sit down and do multiples of stuff, and good on them. Quite honestly, I'm not going to go there. I'm thinking about doing a heap of this. I'm just got a heap come in. It's the Death by Chocolate
Yep.
from Harvest 912. I have something like 27 bottles here. So I was saying that I wasn't going to do multiples, but then again, I'll have a look and I'll sit down and I'll work it out and think about it, and yeah, I'll do as many as I can. But I'm actually thinking seriously of just doing. They're only 2 pointers,
Yeah.
but they do have a kick, and I suppose if I do enough of them, it's going to give me a big boot. But anyway, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
It's a tasty sauce for sure,
It's
and
beautiful.
one that it's almost a shame to do it in a challenge just because of how tasty it is. You almost want to just really, enjoy and relish in the moment that is there. But yeah, definitely that makes complete sense. And one thing that I've, sure I will do things that have extract in them. But I don't, as like you, I do not enjoy the flavor of extract. I don't like the way that it makes me feel the next day because I
Mm.
am an avid coffee drinker. One thing I'll notice is I'll go to have my coffee in the morning, and the way that the coffee hits my taste buds, I can tell that one of the main telltale signs is if my drink starts to taste like metal, then I know that there was extract in what I ate the day before. And
That's
so
exactly it.
it's just I think it serves a purpose in the sense of amping things up or bringing on that panic mode for some folks because it does hit differently than say other forms
Oh
of
yeah.
capsaicin. But I'm of the belief and I will argue the point until I'm blue in the face, which is the idea that capsaicin crystals are a much better avenue for that than capsaicin extract. And it's just simply because it is more pure, on easy to process on the body. You don't have that nasty metallic taste the next day.
Yep.
It processes through the body so much easier with less issues, and you can get higher on the Scoville scale with the capsaicin crystals than you can say with extracts. Extracts you have to use a lot more, which then you're then chasing down a horrid flavor and trying to wash it out with good flavor, which then you dilute and then you're adding more, and it just becomes a vicious cycle of trying to find that nice balance. I think
Yeah.
personally, I've only found two, maybe three sauce makers that are able to put extract in a hot sauce and it still have a good hot sauce taste and not be, overly noticeable on the front half. But no matter what, how they do it, I always taste it the next day with that first cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
A good example is the bomb. It is. I've had so many people. Actually, there was a burger challenge. There was a Scorpio burger challenge from Burger Urge here in Australia, and I'd actually done the burger challenge in Brisbane, Australia, and I completed. I actually done a live on Facebook, and I got the key ring and all this other stuff. And then Burger Urge here, it's about 30 minutes away, and shopping centre, they had the challenge going. So I went, yeah, I'll go to that. And Phil North, who Chili Philly, he said he'd do it as well. But he rang him up and said, oh, I'm coming and I'm bringing Mark Supple. And he's already done the challenge in Brisbane, and he's just going to blitz it. So when we get there, we're standing outside and then we sit down and we set up all the cameras and stuff. I started eating it and I just said to Phil, I just went, this is not the same burger, mate. I said, this has got extract in it. it's not the sauce that they were actually using for the actual burger that I'd done. I think it was 3 weeks before. He's going, you sure? I went, I'm telling you, mate. I said, this is, and I said, I know the taste of this. I said, I know this sauce. And then we kept on eating, kept on eating. He finished his. It took me 10 minutes because I was just going, oh, I just don't like it.
Yep.
And we finished, and he's gone, yeah, it's not good, is it? I said, no, it's not. Anyway, the manager come out, and we're going, yeah, like I said, oh, you're setting us up, mate. He went, well, how do you know? I said, that's not the same sauce. And he's gone, well, yeah, we did. I put the bomb in there and this other, besides the other scorpion sauce. And I just went, listen, mate, that's not what it's about. I said, that's extract. Anyway, I ended up getting cramps about an hour later just from that burger because I didn't do any prep, not thinking that they're going to throw half a bottle of the bomb on this thing. And I knew the taste. And I just sort of said to Phil, I said, I know that taste. And I just do not rate that sauce one little bit. I just dislike it immensely. It's on that Hot Ones.
Yep.
And every time I see it, and I just go, why are you giving that crap for? You know, like there's plenty of good sauces out there that have got that heat without that crappy flavour. And that is all metallic. It is just full on metallic. And it's black. And it's not a pleasant, not very pleasant. And like I said, I don't rate it, and I never will.
Yep. It's the sauce is strategically there. You can tell from day one. It's been day one that they've had it. It's been there solely to wreck the taste buds and the palates of those individuals that are there on the show, simply just so they can't really distinguish what they're getting hit with on the next 2 to 3 sauces.
Yeah, and the next 2, yeah.
It's just like it's always just to me, to you, to those that know the industry as a whole and are familiar with hot sauces, it's like it is not a great representation of I will say probably 95% of those guests that come on have zero knowledge of what hot sauce really is, or the different variations and the different flavors and all the stuff that you can get with hot sauce. So they're walking into this with the idea of like hot sauce is Frank's or it's Tabasco or it's that's their pre based knowledge going into Hot Ones per se. And then they get all these great sauces that they're like, man, this tastes great. It's got some nice heat, got some nice flavor. And then you hit them with that. And then now you've just taken in my opinion, you've taken someone that loves what they've just experienced and maybe are already thinking like, I could definitely try out some new hot sauces. And then you just trash their taste buds with the bomb. And it's like, come on now. Come on. Like, don't do that. But then again, it also has that shock factor, and that's why they keep it, because then those that are watching are like, oh, I'm gonna see how they react to Da Bomb, because Da Bomb makes everyone squirm, or it makes everyone have some kind of reaction. And so it's just I think it could be, in your statement, I definitely think that could also be done better. To the burger that you were mentioning, the scorpion burger, I think I've seen this one. Is this the one that so I saw a video go out where there's like actual scorpions on the burger, like pierced?
No, it's another one.
Okay,
that's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called the Death. The first one was the Death. I forget now. Scorpion Death or something like that. Anyway. And they had their sauce especially made up for it. And I actually still got 2 bottles of it. And it's quite a nice sauce. And but the other one, that's where they had the scorpions from Thailand. And they were black scorpions. Yep. They were huge. And, when I actually did that video, I just kept on saying, I ended up counting. I think I said, as I'm eating, I'm going, oh, this scorpion's so crunchy. I just kept on getting stuck in my teeth and all that. And I think I said crunchy about 40 times in 8 minutes. Going, I'm over this crunch, and you could actually hear it. It was crunch, crunch. But I was disappointed because I was expecting a flavour, because I actually had bits of it without any burger, and I'm just going, it's got no flavour. It's like all the insides have been, like however they cooked them or whatever, it's all into a ball,
Yeah.
and there was just no flavour there. I was expecting some sort of flavour, like I did the Mexican worms. I forget what they were called. I did a live on them, and they had flavour, and I quite enjoyed them. So it's something that I'd do again. And I've got other things that cricket chips.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually stuff that I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
And here's another one. It's a different cricket chip as well, and that one is saltbush and rosemary. So Australian saltbush and rosemary, and the other one is a barbecue flavour. So I do try different things, and they're supposed to have heat. That's what they are. They're supposed to be some sort of chili that they put in them, and I forget what that is. I'll find it here somewhere.
More power to you on that. I
Yeah,
just with the whole the bug side aspect. I've tried it just to say that I've tried it, but nah, not for me. That's not an avenue that I like to just dance around. I remember as a kid doing the scorpion suckers and thinking they were so cool to have a sucker with a scorpion trapped on the inside. And now it's just like I don't know. I can't get my head around it to really enjoy it. So it definitely is a whole nother level of determination and willpower to do that.
yeah. I was actually had reservations when I went and done that scorpion one, and especially when it come out, because I only thought it'd be a little scorpion. And when I actually seen how big the whole thing was, and the tail kernel, and you can still see the spike in there, I just went, was this a good idea? Was this a good idea? Yeah, and I went, right, I'm here. I've got the camera rolling. I've got to do it. And that's the thing. If you say you're going to do something, you got to do it, whether
Yep.
you fail or not. And I've had quite a few fails, like doing challenges, and I'm not afraid to put them on. And I just tell everyone, well, that's a fail. See you later. I'll do it again next time. So it's no matter how good you are or how good you think you are, you'll fail somewhere along the line, and it could be just one of the simplest challenges. It's something that you've done. Like the other day, I was doing that warthog challenge, and I finished doing the bottle, and I sort of like had a bit of a burp, but it all went into my nostril, up the
Mm.
back of my nostril,
Yep.
and oh my god, it was just I thought I was going to lose it, and I was going to end the challenge.
Yep.
But yeah, I ended up just blowing it out of my nose, and it was just it was so much pain,
Yep.
because that was just pure heat coming out of my nose, and my eyes wouldn't stop watering. And I'm just going, this is a simple challenge that I nearly destroyed myself on. So it doesn't make any difference how good you think you are.
Yep.
A challenge can bring you undone so easily just through your own body doing stupid things that you
Absolutely.
don't think about. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I've had heaps of failures. Heaps of
The
failures.
weird things that happen, whether it's spicy or just a large volume, whatever have you, the brain, the body, the way it reacts throughout that process is very interesting. Because like there's plenty of times where I'll just be eating something, and I wouldn't say that I have a texture problem whenever eating foods, but there's been plenty of times where like the pepper competition I've been in, and a few other times where I'll eat a whole bunch at once, and I don't know if it's just the amount of heat at that point, if it is the amount of food that I've taken in at that point, but then all of a sudden you start to I feel as I'm eating, continuing on, that I do start to feel like certain textures are bothersome, and certain textures are starting to play tricks on my head. And so then it
Yep.
kind of dials back. But yeah, it's wild to look at a lot of these competitors that are going out and they are doing an absurd amount of multiples thereof of certain products, and it's just like all I can do is sit back and applaud them just for the, not even focusing on the heat aspect, but the sheer focus and determination to get through that many products in one sitting it's just wild to see. So, pretty fun times to be able to watch as new products roll out, watch as new competitors come in, and really be able to watch the community grow and be a part of this is a lot of fun. And as you've been able to capture your journeys, your wins, your losses, the being able to come back and show up and do what you do day in, day out is very cool to see, and it is very fun for those that are watching to be a part of that same journey with you. And as you're saying, not holding back those losses that you have, or that you anything that's like kind of slowed you down. It just shows the overall progress, the overall path, and keeps people engaged and wanting to stick with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, I just take my hats off to all the people that like Ethan and Tom and Fiery Red, and I know I forgot someone. Well, Charlie, sorry, Charlie, Joe, Cuba. Like they're just people to sit down and Spicelander, Graham, Alan
Mm.
Graham, same thing. We'll sit down and do multiples of heaps. And yeah, like I said, I'm just getting my body just reacting really badly to doing a lot of stuff now. And like I said, I will have a go at that and see exactly how far I can go. And when my body says go, well, it's going to go. But yeah, before I used to push through stuff. Now it's my body's just not letting me go to that extent, which I've tried off camera doing stuff, and it hasn't worked. So I'm going to try stuff on camera, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But anyway, I'm going to give it a go, and I just don't want to go too far and, and wreck myself.
Yep.
But anyway, that's life if it happens.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the way you look at it.
most definitely. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game. All right, here we go. We have a very special edition of Keep 5, Cut 5. And as you can see here, we have, we've very select curated list of some of your challenges that you've done on the channel. And for anyone that's watching, listening, Burn the Mow is Mark Supple's YouTube channel, and you're going to be able to find him doing a lot of these challenges, a lot of his reviews. And so here on the screen, there are 10 items. I will list them off 1 through 10 for those that are just audio listening. The best way to go about this is to either start with a keep or a cut and just have it continue to alternate between keeps and cuts. So up first, number 1 is the Killer Queen 2 Chug. Number 2 is the League of Fire. This is the Crossroads Challenge. All these are League of Fire challenges, I should state. Actually, I think one may not be. So we have the Crossroads as number 2. We have the Challenge Chug version 4 for number 3. We have the Butterscotch Bark from Mad Bull Cow at number 4. We have Hotheads in number 5 spot. We have the Ryback Slammer in number 6. We have the Chupacabra Chug in 7. We have the Chili Heads of the Corn as number 8. And then we have number 9 coming in as the 7-pot. This is the Warthog Chug. And then number 10, well, that's SIP's Chomper Chip Challenge. So here we go. How you decide to keep or cut is totally up to you. And I'm sure we'll touch on some of those as you go.
The Killer Queen is actually the nastiest challenge out of all of them. And when I actually done that challenge, I actually said, well, I don't know what the hype's about. That was pretty easy. And then just the one chug, and I didn't prep very well for it. There was 7 hours of just absolute hell afterwards, 30 minutes afterwards. So for actual killer, it's number one, and it's a keeper. It really, out of all the stuff I was doing prior to that, it actually woke me up to no, you're not anything special. So yeah, that's definitely a keeper. The Crossroads. Now this is interesting. I've been very boisterous about, and I've still got, I think, is 4 left of the original Crossroads, and that's exactly what that one is.
Mm-hmm.
The actual heat on those are very, very hot. There's that much powder on them. Scoville unit actually agrees. It should be worth more points. I've still got 4 left. Yeah, I can take it or leave it. I still like the challenge, but yeah, I could cut that one.
All right. Easy enough.
Number 4. The Chug 4.
Yes.
It's called the Christmas Challenge. I actually done a few of those last Christmas, Christmas Day, as a matter of fact, before I went out. And I had cramps for about an hour and a half while I was at a party, and it wasn't very good. So yeah, it's a nice chug. It's not a bad tasting, but I like the 1 and the 5. The 5's absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to get more of the 5. I could put a cross through that one.
All right. Easy enough.
Now, the bark. They don't make it anymore, unfortunately. Harvest 912. It was a challenge that I truly enjoyed. Has a great, like a reasonable burn, but the flavour was absolutely great. And anything with chocolate in it I love, and I shouldn't, but I do. And yeah, so that's a great, but they're not making it anymore. They're making the other thing. Hang on. Peppermint bark. Now, what's that one there? The butterscotch, yeah. Yep. So they're not making the butterscotch anymore. They're only making the peppermint. So that's a shame. So I'll put a cross through that one.
All right. Then we have the hotheads.
Now, the hotheads. I love this challenge. Absolutely love it. I've ordered, I think there's 20 packs. So that's 40 heads coming my way. But because they've got strikes and the postal, still waiting for them to arrive. I actually ordered it in February. It is now like halfway through June, and I actually got onto them, and they said, yeah, they haven't sent any because of the strikes that are going on with the postal. So I'm still waiting on them to turn up. It's one I love, so that's a tick.
All right. Then we have the Ryback Slammer.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It has got extract in it, but it's nothing like the Killer Queen. It's actually got a great taste. The first lot that come out were absolutely beautiful, and then progressive batches that they made turned a lot. What would you call it? More sour. And but the last lot that I had, and I've still got 6 left, are really nice, and that's a tick. That's a great tick.
All right. Easy enough.
The Chubaccara. I absolutely love this thing. I think I'm the only one that's got 8 bottles left. They're in storage at the moment. I actually got to get them out, and I actually said to Midge that I would actually try to break his record of 6, and that's already been broken by what's he called? Canadian. Oh, I should remember his name. Yeah, Mike Jack. And he had 7. So I've got 8. But that is it's 100 mil, and it's really nice. I like the taste of it, but I think by the time I get to 6, it's going to really start to burn. But anyway,
Yeah.
I said I'd have a go, but I'll still have a go. So that's a tick.
All right. And then we have the chili heads of the
Uh,
corn.
I'm not a fan. It's just like it's a never-ending container. You're eating, and it's all hard. Um, no, I wasn't a great fan of it. I wasn't a great fan. It's got a nice burn, but it's got no taste. It's just bland. Um, warthog, love it.
All
Love
right.
the warthog.
Well, indirectly, that means the Sip Chomper chip is getting an
Oh
X.
no, I like that.
Yeah,
That's one of my favourites.
that's a tasty one. I am looking forward to the future. I saw his recent release talking about the new iterations coming out. I know I had the pleasure of trying a prototype that was, I believe, one that he's either already rolled out or about to roll out. That was absolutely tasty as well. So looking forward to what Sip is going to continue to deliver for the spicy avenue of things, as well as future challenges that he rolls out, because he's
Yeah, the
definitely got it.
honeycomb one. Yeah, the honeycomb one that I tried. I just said to him, I said, look, you send me over boxes of that. I just said, add a bit more heat to it, and that'll be absolutely beautiful. Once again,
Very.
it's chocolate. I shouldn't, but I do. So I'm a diabetic. So just stuff that I shouldn't be having, and I just love it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Well, that was keep five cut five. What did you think?
yeah. I should have looked and seen sips at the end there because I truly do love that, and yeah, I can't get enough of it really. But
Yep.
yeah, the warthog I love as well. So there's heaps of challenges that I do love, and this one here, which I've got to do, I'm going to do tomorrow, which is this the Scoville Slammer. That's one I
Okay.
like too, and it's got a really nice taste, even though it's a extract sauce.
Yep. That
It's
that's a collector's item right now. I guess the same could be
I've
said
got
for the Killer Queen V2. So
I've got 28 of the Killer Queens,
wow.
and yeah, and I was actually working things out the other day, going that I've got 8 of these, and because I bought heaps when I first started back in 23, and I've just absolutely spent a fortune, and I've got so many of these in storage, and uh, yeah, so Killer Queens 28. I looked and I went, if I do one a week and prep properly, I shouldn't be suffering for 7 hours, and I get 10 points. So I'm looking at,
Yep.
if I do one a week, I'm getting 10 points. So uh, it's not. I need to get rid of them. I bought them, so I got to use them, and that's the way I
Yep.
look at it. Although Jeff said to me a while back, just use it in your cooking. He said it's not too bad if you actually put some into your cooking, and he said you just throw it in the fridge and then you use it again. And I thought, yeah, I suppose so, but they keep on lowering the price to try and get rid of it.
Yep.
But I think the reputation of the sauce, the extract, it just not people.
Yep.
But yeah, I know exactly what it can do to you. So now I'd really prep before I actually even tried that again.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I've got 28 of them, so I've got to do them sooner or later. So there's lots of things coming up, and yeah, just hopefully I'll survive after after I finish them.
That is always the question, is how is the outcome about to be for the challenge that you're walking into. Yeah, cooking
Yeah,
with them sounds like a great option as well. But yeah, if you bought them, if you intended on using them for points, you might as well go that avenue, at least
yeah,
while you can. and enjoy it in that sense. But yeah, I guess really the nugget of knowledge here, in a very unique position, as you mentioned earlier, not knowing too many other individuals that are around your age doing challenges. So we kind of want to cater that maybe towards the nugget of knowledge here, which would be, what would be your word of advice for those that are, chili heads that are pushing themselves, and maybe they're starting to wonder ways that they could better continue on this journey? Because I feel like a lot, they burn out rather quick, and then they like start to dwindle back, and they don't want to go back into challenges. But what would your nugget of knowledge be to continue through doing challenges as you continue to age?
Um, I wouldn't be, well, why you can do it, do the multiples. That's one thing, but don't do it to the point where it's going to burn you out and it's going to actually wreck you. So just do things in moderation, and that's what I do now. It's, even though I'm looking at doing silly things down the road here a bit, but I just get on, do one challenge. I do it in the morning for breakfast. A lot of times at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing a challenge, and um, it's not an easy challenge either. And I haven't had that much to eat, and so I'm really throwing the dice. But
Mm-hmm.
I look at it this way: if you can do it, do it. But it all comes down to the head, and but if your body's telling you another thing, it doesn't matter what you got in here. It's never gonna counteract this. So uh, take notice of what your body's saying. If you do heaps of these and you're going good, we'll just keep doing it. But don't do a heap in close proximity. That's the way I look at it. Just do multiples 3 or 4 times a year. And if you do a heap of them, you're getting a heap of points anyway. A lot of times you're getting 400 points, 500 points. And if you do that 4 times a year, well, that's 2,000 points. And you're right up the top there. You're number one, number two, number three, somewhere around that. And yeah, that's all you need. And then you just do one or two in between. And that's all I do now. I just look at it and just go, listen to what your body's telling you. And this thing here, if it's saying keep going and your body's saying, yeah, I can do that, well, you keep going. So it is all up to your actual body, and just don't burn yourself out, because I like seeing these young people doing this, and I want to see them and say, hopefully, God willing, I'm still around another 10 years and still see these in 10 years' time doing these challenges and still doing them as good as what they're doing them now. I mightn't be doing them in 10 years' time. I don't know, but I've got enough here to last me another 4 years at least. So there's at least 4 years of putting up with me. So there you go.
There we go. Great words of wisdom there on being able to listen to your body and continue to push through. Now here's a great chance for you to put someone on the hot seat. Obviously, you were nominated to be a guest on the show, but this is your chance to put someone else on the hot seat as someone you think would make a great guest for the show.
Now, look at Australian. Yeah, Chili Philly, Phil North. He's we're actually all going to be up in the Australian Chili Championships on the 5th of July. It's up at Saucegauntlet. I'm going to be handing out stuff to the competitors. So we've got all the Australians best competing for the Australian Championship. We have the Oceania champion who will be there is Dom. He's also the New South Wales champion. And and we've got all the rest from Australia. So it's 30 rounds. It goes for over an hour. It's a mixture of sauces. the Killer Queen will actually be one of the rounds. So uh, these people are going to get, because it's winter, we don't have that many chilies, fresh chilies, but it's going to be a lot of products, and we're, the wickedest jerky in the world really is made here in Australia, and there's a mob in South Australia that's got this jerky and it's just covered in extract. And where I said that it's a bomb, I don't rate it. Well, this jerky is not very pleasant. It's just so metallic-y, but it is nasty. It is just pure nastiness. So there's 30 rounds. Last year it went for an hour and 35 minutes, uh, and it's just
Wow.
pure hell. And then at the end, two people left, and they've got to drink two sauces, like two 50 mils. Actually finish them, and there's six hot Superhots that they got to eat, and a packet of jerky and something else. So that's the speed round at the end. So if you can last 30 rounds and get to that, well, yeah, you deserve to be there.
Absolutely. That sounds like an intense gauntlet to go through. And hats off to you on that. That is a pretty wild thing as a competitor to see these people come through and do this. The determination, the commitment, and the focus. That has got to be an event to witness. And looking forward to seeing how that whole thing ends up actually playing out. And Chili Phil, I will definitely be finding a time to have you on the show, and look forward to that. So thank you for that nomination. And
That's all right.
as far as for those that are just audio listening only, this is where this really benefits them. But where can they keep up with you? How can they keep up with you? And then if there's anything you want to let them know, go ahead and let those that are watching and listening know.
My YouTube channel, which is Sups57, it's SUPS57. So they can get on that. There's heaps of challenges on there. I forget how many videos I've got, just the challenges. And then there's heaps of reviews. And I'm actually building a website at the moment for my sauces, shirts that I'm wearing here. I've got stickers, I've got fridge magnets, caps are coming next week. Yeah, I've got heaps of stuff. So when I get the actual website up, I'll be putting it on my Facebook page, and I'll also advertise it with the League of Fire, and obviously I'll let SIP know and a heap of other people in the US, and they'll actually obviously hopefully spread the word, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so the hardest part at the moment is getting the website all organised. I've got a domain name which I'm not very happy with, so I'm actually trying to get another one, and that's taking the longest. So I can't really do nothing until I get the domain name that I want, and yeah, so I'm having problems with that. But that's it. It's trademarked. That's it. So yeah, I was ready to go, and nowhere to go at the moment.
Yeah. Well, Mark, thank
But
you so
yeah,
much. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, time has absolutely flown by. Still so much more we can dive into. Would love to have you back on and discuss more about the Chili Head life and really what it's like ultimately to the things that you get to experience in Australia, as far as what it's like compared to some of the overall challenges and competitions that we see here in the States. So thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to having you back on.
no worries. Thank you very much for having me, and yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Mark, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. If you want to keep up with Burn the Mo, Mark Supple, I will have everything linked down below as ways that you can keep up with him on his socials and continue to watch as he continues to knock out these challenges. Absolutely inspiring and loving what he's doing there. If you enjoyed the products that were featured here on Hot or Not, I will have the direct links for those down below, as well as a link to the main site. So you can pick up all of those amazing products, as well as, thank you so much for everyone that has been here rocking and rolling on the podcast and sharing this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot, because this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. New episodes do drop every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. So make sure you tune in, you're ready to go. If you want to join the Swear Nation, the links will be down there on the website, so you can be a citizen of Swear Nation, as well as we have opened up sponsorship program for the podcast. So if you have a spicy company and you want to become a sponsor of the podcast, head on down there. It is also in the merch store, so you can check that out. Want to give a shout out to our current sponsors. We have podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. If you have a website, maybe you had a person at one point, maybe you lost contact with them. Maybe your just website is a poor representation of you and your business. Highly recommend checking out webdx.one. Make it simple, make it easy, and they do so much more than that. So head on over there to webdx.one. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.